Hello, it's Jay from the Wand Garden. I've got another tutorial for you. It's been ages since my first one, but I've had good feedback and requests for more, which is really great to hear, so thank you. I wanted to show my face this time and say hi so that you can put a face to the voice, and I'll show you what we're going to make. Lapis Lazuli and Agate set into polymer clay. So stick around for the next bit to see how it's done. So I've got my piece of lapis. So sorry it's a bit dark, it's been a while since I've done this. The light's not great outside and my tripod's just broke, so it's hanging gently there. It might fall over. Anyway, so to do this, I'm making my own colour. I like the colour from Primo that was called Rhino Grey, but they stopped doing it. But you can make it yourself with 8 parts ecru, 4 parts slate and 1 part burnt umber. But here's a bit I made earlier and I've just got to blend that all together. See you in a minute. There we go. To be honest, it's quite nice with this kind of marbled effect. It looks like stone or like sand or something. So let's just use that. And we're going to make it into a nice ball when it's lovely and conditioned and soft. I'm wondering if this is going to be enough actually. I'm going to go for a bit more. So I've just conditioned an extra little bit for my bail. I think that will do. So first of all, you're going to need a rolling pin. And we just want to roll it out like so. Not too thin, not too thick. Let me see if I can show you up close. Just like that. I'm going to just scan this and see which way is best. It's a bit funny, that side. That's a bit of an odd one. Let's do that with it. That feels right. So what I do is take a blade. I've got 2 blades. One is flexible and the other is stiff. I like to use this one most of all because you can get curves with it. Let's just take the top off. Can you see that? Hang on. Yeah. Take the top off. I just want to create a nice shape. And at this point I just keep putting this in and checking because we're going to wrap this around the stone. Probably don't need so much clay on the bottom either. I find these days I like to use as less clay as possible just to let the stone breathe and shine for itself. But that's good. There's going to be like little wings will fold in, and now we need to put the bail on. Just make sure it's nice and conditioned. So you want to make a little sausage like that. You want a good bit of girth on there to make sure that it's going to be strong enough to hold the pendant, because we're not using any metal findings in this. So just set this to one side and then take the little sausage and roll it out, not super flat, but kind of taper the edges just enough so that you can wrap it around something. So mine is like that. Right, this is quite dark, isn't it? Let's see if I can make it lighter. Oh no, just zooming in. See that? And then get something you can use. I just tend to use a paintbrush. And just carefully bend it round. Pinch in here. Now, just to make it all neater as we go, if you've got any tools, where is it? So I didn't get all my stuff out first this time. If you've got like a ball tool you can use, just smooth this over so you've got nice clean edges, because it's harder to work with once it's on the rest of the pendant. I'll just check that the hole hasn't closed up. Great, now I'm ready to set this on the top. I'll try and get it as central as possible. Need a good amount of clay here to bond it. That looks good enough to me. Now I've got a big fatty ball tool here that I like to use to smush this on. Actually, let's go for a smaller one. And what I'm doing, can you see? What I'm doing is just blending all of these edges together so it's all smooth. And with the back, just want to close this gap. Really give it strength. Smooth it out. This needs a bit more tidying around here. Doesn't have to be perfect, because you won't really see too much of it, especially when all the other details are on there. But it's good to get it as neat as you can. There we go. So that's the base for the bail, for the pendant even. Right. Okay, now we're going to use some Bake and Bond. Mine's by Sculpey. And I'm just gonna, there's not much in here, so I've got to give it a good squeeze. Oh, blimey, it doesn't want to come out. Just a little bit around the top where the clay is going to be. And that stuff will really bind it together. And then I'm going to push my stone underneath the bail and down onto the clay. A nice bit of force, really push it in there. And then, this is quite fun, this next bit, we're going to close up the little flaps. Now I've made this quite thick. I think ideally it would have not been so thick, but I can work with that. That's cool. It's not a bad style as it is, but we can make that loads neater. Loads neater. So I'll just show you, because the light's not great, what we've got there. So it should look something like that. Now at this point, what I like to do, let me move this camera a little bit. That's better. Oh no, it's split at the side. I didn't condition it well enough. It's cool. You can just blend it back together. I'll probably be putting spirals and leaves and all sorts of stuff around there anyway, so that will be fine. Now, so I'm going to take my this blade, flexible blade, and just go along the edges and just take off any excess clay so it's not quite so chunky. Just like gentle sliding motion. And this side. So this is where the flexible bit's handy, because there's a slight curve on this. I don't want to take off too much because it still needs to wrap around the stone, but it just tends to look a lot more refined when it's done if you take a bit off. And then I just use my finger to smooth out where the blade went in. That's cute. But still too much clay for my liking, so what I do next, I want to create like a nice V shape here, long blade. So I'm going to insert my flexible blade about here. Can you see this? And drag it down and curve at the same time. Just kind of gently create a curve in here till you get to the edge. Get the blade in there and pull this out. I'm going to do the same on the other side. This bacon bond that's all over the place, we can just wipe that off, that's no problem. There we go. Alright, I think that's better, to be honest. I'm just going to get a cloth and mop this mess up. Famous burp cloths. My kids don't need burp cloths anymore, thankfully. Right, there we go. Now the thing is, there will be a gap at the top here, and I don't like to put any holes in things with polymer clay, in case something happens in the oven. Like, things are better off without any air holes anywhere. So I'm just going to push this down so it sits well into the bacon bond. It's quite nice. Another thing I like to do to the bail is take the edges off the sides. And it just slims it down, gives it a nice shape. So I just take my blade, put it on a slight angle, so it's like a little bit turned in. Just gentle slices, take a little bit off this side and a little bit off here, because it's just unnecessary. I didn't used to do this, but I just find they look a lot nicer if you do these little things. There we go, see, that's loads better. Oh, my hole's closed up. This is the other thing, you have to keep checking that your bail hasn't closed. So every now and again, just get that piece through. And now I can tidy up the sides. Smooth things off. Or something like that. That's quite sweet. Yeah. So now we can do a bit of decoration.
No. Mummy?
Hello, darling.
TV just said.
Bear with me a minute, I need to make sure he doesn't turn the telly on. Right, I'm back. I think I'm going to blend these two sides together a little bit, just with the end of this ball tool. Squish it all down and do a little bit of texture. And at the same time, it just pushes it all in, blends it together. God, it's weird using my right hand. Oh, I do stuff with both hands. That's quite a nice effect. Great, now we can do, I might put a little, I'm going to take this is a little piece of carnelian cabochon, and I'm going to put that on the top here. So I'm taking my bacon bond again, a little blob on the bottom. So like orange and blue work nicely together. There we are. And then, in fact, I might lighten this and use a different colour to do my spirals. Okay, bear with me. So for this I'm going to take, this is Sculpey Primo again, and it's in pearl. It's like a shimmery white. It's quite soft as well, so it feels like a bit conditioned before you use it, which is handy because Fimo Professional, like I really love Fimo Professional, but this stuff, I love this colour, it's Dolphin Grey, but it's so hard. Like, it's really good stuff, you can get loads of detail in it, but it takes ages to condition. I just can't be bothered to sit there for that long squeezing it. My hands hurt, and I don't have a pasta roller or anything. But anyway, this colour is pretty similar. It's kind of got a little bit of a pearlescent finish to it. I'm going to put this out of the way. I'm going to create some snakes. So just really gently holding one finger and then rolling it out with the other. Getting it as even as you can. Doesn't really need to be that long. I'm going to make it all even and I'm going to half it. And try and make these two the same. So this is just a process of like thinning it out but being careful to keep it even and not snapping it. It's really easy to just break it off when it gets that thin. Yeah, I'm going to do away with the end of this because it's really long and it's getting really slim at this end. Right. Yeah. So how much do I want of this? Probably there. Right, let's do some spirals. So to make my spirals, I use a tool like this that's got a little curve, and I curl the edge in with my finger. It's not a good position for you to see, is it? I'll move it. See, I use the end to just entice it round. Once it's turned in on itself, it's easier. It kind of locks in, and then you can just, as long as you keep it flat. Just roll it around really gently. That's nice. I've just had an idea. I reckon what I'll do on this middle bit is add like a nice leaf design there. So what colour do I use? I'm going to stick with this pearl colour. I'm going to do that first because I want to wrap sorry, I'm just thinking maybe it should be in a slightly different colour or add a little bit of something. This leaf idea. Let's put a bit of green in there. So I've got a tiny little piece of green. I'm just going to take a really small little smidge and mix it in with this pearl to get another marble effect going on. It's just so that when I wrap the leaf with this spiral, it creates a bit of contrast. It doesn't just blend into one. Doesn't need to be much, but a little hint of green would be nice. Can you see? Right, and I've got a cutter here, a small round cutter. And I'm going to press it down, cut myself out my leaf. Like that. And I'm going to place it in the middle. I think that's too big. Let's make it a bit smaller. And just reshape it a little bit. There we go, I've got my nice leaf design in the middle. I'm not going to press it in and do the, what do you call it, the leaf lines, or don't know what the word is, you know what I mean. I'm not going to do that yet, just in case I want to move this. It's a good thing about polymer clay is you can, if you don't stick everything down straight away, you can kind of change your mind as you go. It's quite helpful to not just go straight in and smush it all down. So this spiral, I reckon, will look nice on the top above my agate. May even be a bit big, you know. Let's make that a bit smaller. Just unwind it a little bit. Right, let's go with that. So just sitting it at the top, I'm gonna frame my stone. And I think I'm gonna just wrap it and take this, slice it off at the join. Don't break. Oh, yeah, it's always a bit tense doing bits like that. And I've still got this long bit, and you want to see here. That's quite nice. I just make this up as I go along, to be honest. Yeah, I think what would be good is to wrap this round the side. I don't want any holes. You notice there's a little hole under there, so I'm going to need to close this gap because that will not work. I'm going round my leaf and across the top. Obviously you could be laying these little snakes down however you please, whatever floats your boat. Yeah, that's good. And I think what I'll do is just frame the bottom bit as well. Can you see this? Just bend this round. So we have something like that. Now I feel confident enough to put the detail into the leaf. So I just use a blade like this. Gently pressing in. That's good. I mean, you could leave this there. But I can't help but go for more. I think I'm going to do another little spiral. Tiny little one. In fact, I'm feeling that this is quite thin, this piece here, so I might even double frame it with another, yeah. Yeah, that's better. Create a bit more of a point in here. Sometimes you can lose your original shape as you go. I was about to say I'm nearly there, but that always happens and I end up spending more time doing loads more stuff that I didn't think I'd do. I'm going to do another spiral. Really small one because I want it to fit underneath the agate.
Mummy?
Yes, darling? Right. This is a very tiny spiral. And I'm going to set this right underneath. Which way? I don't know yet. Which way looks best? Oh, like that. Oh, it's fiddly work. Tuck that in there. I need to fit it down just ever so slightly lower. And this is a fun bit really, you can just lay this down wherever you think looks nice. Getting these intricate details is the best bit.
Look, it's mine.
Well, it'll be your turn after Chaska.
But Chaska's not letting me have a turn.
Quite like these waves.
I can't stand up.
And then just end it round the back. And that's my top bit. I think I'm going to go for some more spirals around the leaf. I had to train myself not to go overboard. Sometimes things are nicer when they're simpler, but I do like detail. Yeah, that looks good right there. Sometimes you just fluke it straight away. Just twist it round.
Can I have some beans instead? There's no oatcakes.
So I don't like this here. Yes, you can. I don't like that, so I'm going to pull it off and I'm going to adjust it, which is the beauty of it. Just really get it right. That's nice. End it over there. I can do something on the other side. I may go with another spiral. Sorry, you can't see. There we go. Up there. Yeah. I'm just going to tuck this end in here and I'm going to cover it with a leaf or something. So this is what I've got at the moment. And then when you're happy that it's led, these bits are led where you want them, you can just give them a little squish. Make sure they're in place. A few more details and then it will be done. So I'm going to go with the same colour as my bail, I think. Just add in a few subtle leaves, really tiny. I want these real small. Oh, a little bit of green made its way in there, so I guess that wants to be there. We'll roll with it. Oh, my kids are eating beans way too late. They're going to have a fast tonight. Okay. So just need to do a real tiny leaf. So I find just cut one and then half it. Let me sort this argument out a minute. It's okay, he can have his own bowl. Just let him have another bowl.
I poured it all into one bowl already, and so that we could share from one bowl.
Okay, the joys, eh? See, a tiny little leaf here just covers that join. It may even be too big. There we go. I'm not even wearing my glasses, really silly. It's really close work, that. What do you reckon? Let's put a few more of those in, they're quite good. Yeah, one in there would be good. So sometimes what I do is just get all these little bits in place, then do the details after. I feel like it's screaming out for one at the top. Can you see how minute that is? Stick another one up there. Oh, it's too tempting to finish off the detail now. I think we want a few more, maybe a couple on the bail at the top. Do you know what? Let's use some of this green. Let's get a few scattered splashes of colour at the top. So they can be quite slim. One at the very top here, look nice. Maybe some real tiny ones here if I can. Oh look, we'll just use that tiny little piece that's come from somewhere. Oh, that's actually too small. I can't even work with that. It's ridiculous. Let's try and get some shape out of it. Okay. That's tiny. I'm gonna go here actually. Yeah, why not? You can go there. So yeah, let's put in a few more around the bail like I was supposed to do a minute ago. Got waylaid. I noticed that about myself. I'm supposed to be doing this and supposed to be doing that. It's only me that's told myself I have to do it. I just don't have to do anything. I'm not supposed to be doing anything. Yeah, that's good. And we really are nearly there now. Go back to my grey colour. One more leaf and then I'm going to start texturising. I'm going to put a leaf up here just to add a bit more strength at the base of this bail. There we go. And I'm going to take a really fine ball tool now, if I can find one. Like that. And I'm just going to do some little punches up here to create some texture. Around the sides. And this is really the end where you can just look over it and make sure that there's no kind of snags or bits that look too uneven. Using this texture tool is quite good because you can go over any little bits, marks, or it just makes it look rustic but neat. I like to put a little bit of texture on the sides of my bails.
Jessica's not Jessica's not eating breakfast with me.
Well, it's nearly bedtime. It's not breakfast time, darling. You can have breakfast tomorrow.
No.
There we go. All finished. Can you see? Now I will bake this for probably about, my oven isn't great, so things take longer. The instructions on Primo, I think, is 130 degrees, 15 to 30 minutes per, I think it's 1/4 inch of clay, but check on the brand of clay you're using. I'll probably end up doing this for a good hour, probably more because my oven's not great. So yeah, there we go. How was yours? Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of my makes, you can go to my website, www.theonegarden.co.uk. It's got all my stuff on there. I make smudge fans, magic wands, polymer clay pendants, and wire necklaces too. I just initial the back. I always do this. I've done it since the beginning. There we go.